In every industry, there are industry leaders, and there are some major tactics. The first is stay on the offensive. You are the industry leader, stay the industry leader. Don't let anybody even get close to you. Industry leaders that use a stay on the offensive tactic, they're very action oriented, they're very first mover, they're going to keep getting out there as fast as they can, and they're very impatient with the status quo. Another one is to fortify and defend. I'm the market leader. I'm going to build a fort around myself and I'm not going to let you in. Their main tactics are to try to hold on to their present market share, make sure that the rivals don't get anything, and strengthen their current market position through some innovation, through brand loyalty, and at all costs protect a competitive advantage or a sustainable competitive advantage. The other thing is called muscle flexing. And this is where an industry leader will kind of say, okay, look, I'm the boss, I'm the big guy, just back off. So one of the things that they might do is what they call fight back. So if my rival drops his prices, I'll drop mine. If he opens six more stores, we'll open six more stores, or seven. Another is to play hardball, which is every time the second follower, the close follower, makes any kind of a strategic move or a tactical move, is to counter it as quickly and as hard as you can, including such things as selling at a loss in order to drive a rival out of the market. Arm twisting, that's pretty much the idea of I'm going to sell things for such a price that you can't match them. And we're going to pretty much tell everybody how bad you are unless you knock off this stuff. But you have to be very, very careful with muscle flexing of the law and ethics. Now we have the industry followers. So what can we do? Well, if you are a close follower, meaning you're the second guy or the third guy, you can increase your market share. One of the ways you can do that is by buying smaller firms. You can invest in technology and drive down the costs of production or R&D. Differentiate. Find that competitive advantage. Find that thing that you can differentiate on and just play it for all it's worth. You can try to leapfrog technology. In other words, maybe this guy's using a Xerox machine. You mean you can adapt scanners for your customers, online scanning or something. I don't. But somehow skip the technology. Try to become the first to market with some better quality, better features or something, and build a reputation on that. Find a vacant niche that hasn't been filled. Develop and create a superior product overall. You'll get a reputation doing that as well. Come up with a very distinctive image. Or you can be a content follower. Not everybody needs to be the market leader. Not everybody wants to be the market leader. And you know what? Sometimes it's cool to just follow because as long as there's enough market share for everybody, hey, why bother? In turbulent industries, these are industries with very much like innovation industries. There's rapid technological change. There's a very short product life cycle. At this point in a turbulent industry, you'll start to see new rivals coming in. There's a lot of competitive maneuvering. Who's best? What's competitive advantage? And I'm going to sign this partnership or that partnership. Customer expectations change constantly. And what can I do about all this? Well, I can try to keep my products fresh. New technologies, new colors, new ways of using them. I can develop a quick response capability. This is an interesting thing because this is something that most people don't know, but Microsoft in the early days, or not early days, but around 2000, was very, very response oriented. And we went through a thing called the browser wars where we had Netscape and Internet Explorer came out. And Microsoft was not getting a lot of the market share, which they figured they would do just from their name. And So Bill Gates came down and he said, hey, we're throwing everything at Internet Explorer, at these browser wars. And the whole company just strategically turned on a dime and took this over as the newest project until they finally pretty much drove Netscape out of business. A quick response capability, the ability to make those changes very quickly in a turbulent industry, is a big deal. Try to make partnerships for tie-in products. Apple is not good at doing this. Apple is not good at letting other people make programs for them and apps for them and headsets for them. But that's a great way of kind of solidifying your position. Make changes every few months to your product. Cope. Just take a deep breath and do what needs to be done. Add whatever resources and capabilities you need to and improve your product line. Strengthen your distribution. These are all things that you can do. And the other thing you can do is lead. Become the leader. Now make people follow you. Fragmented industries are those with no clear raw industry leaders. And when you see some examples, you'll kind of understand this. There aren't one or two market leaders who can shape the direction of the industry, which is usually what market leaders do. They tell us how things are going to be done, how we're going to advertise, how we're going to compete, where we're going to sell our products, and those kind of things. And in a fragmented industry, there's nobody in charge, per se. Okay, they're often made up of many neighborhood locations like dry cleaning and flower shops. They're not big national chains. These, like the dry cleaning industry and the flower shop industry, are pretty fragmented. There is a very diverse customer preference, like in hotels. There might be, you might be able to name 4 or 5 big chains, the Hiltons and some of those, but to say, okay, these guys are the leaders, these are the guys that set the tone for how everything is going to be done, there's nobody like that. It might happen when there are very low entry barriers. For example, residential real estate. Really, you have to have a real estate license and find a broker or become a broker, and you can become a real estate agent. And so you see lots and lots of these little real estate agents around. If there's an absence of economies of scale, it doesn't. Now, this is starting to change. The thing is local pharmacies, but we still have a local pharmacy because it really isn't any cheaper to have to fill 20 prescriptions than it is to fill 3. You still got to take the same amount of time. The value chain is the same all the way through. So there's no place to gain an economy of scale. Big affiliated pharmacies get you in with the pharmacy and then they sell you other things. And the other reason of an industry might be fragmented is because the technology is so explosive, you just have to specialize. You can't just tackle everything. And again, the industry is very young and it's got a lot of rivals, and nobody yet has emerged as an industry leader. Eventually somebody will. How do you deal with this? Well, try to become the low-cost leader. Or differentiate, specialize by the type of product that you sell. Real estate agents, for example, maybe they do commercial. Maybe they only do ranches. You can specialize by customer types. Maybe I'm only going to deal with first-time home buyers, or maybe I'm only going to deal with people who can afford homes over a certain dollar amount. I can focus on a limited geographic area. In other words, find a focus, a differentiation. Don't try to go out and take over the entire country. Deal with Montana or deal with Idaho or New Mexico or wherever. Just find your limited geographic area. And that is the end of chapter 6.